What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pages from Rock Bottom. I'm Matt.
And of course, I'm Ken. Oh, and tonight we are joined with Stephanie. I do want to do the trigger warning, so I do not forget. Viewer discretion is advised. We're going to talk about substance use, needle use, emotional trauma, manipulation, and recovery. So tread lightly. You're triggered really easily. Finish if you can. If not, maybe watch it later. All right, Steph, tell us who you are and where you're from.
I'm Stephanie. I'm from Athens. I am nothing spectacular, but I am a survivor. I didn't come out this way. I don't think anybody's born like, I want to be a drug addict, at career day. But I watched all the videos in health class. Like, I knew drugs are bad, and I had a great family. I have a great family. My family isn't the reason I'm an addict, but when we get further along in this program, we start to see the pieces put together that might have got us here. I've always been looking for that one moment when the demon bit me, but there's not one moment. It's compilement of things, right? Yeah.
If it was only that easy, you know what I mean? That demon.
Yeah. But that's our brain, that wants to locate the moment and blame somebody or something. But there's something about me that's always been drawn to the darkness. Like, normal people don't put needles in their arms, and for some reason that's what I did, but I'll get there. The first thing that I did was smoke weed when I was 13, and that was so much fun, right? A little terrifying, but I did it that one time and I put it down. I have always tried to fill this emptiness inside of me by being around people or having to be in relationships or something. There's always that constant hunger for something that's not there, right? So when I was 13, I got in this relationship with a guy that was 21, and he was an addict. I didn't know that then because I didn't know what to look for. I know now,
Yes.
But a rolled up dollar in the laundry didn't mean anything to me then, right? So that was a very violent relationship. I very early things get normalized in your life that aren't normal, right? And I didn't have any experience of what a healthy relationship should look like. So that's love, right? And that's not love. I realize that today. The difference when you actually fall in love than what is infatuation and things like that. And when I was 15, I did cocaine with him. And the first time I did it, I didn't stop till it was gone, right? And I took my driving test the next day and I passed my driving test. So right away, I'm like, oh, substances help me, right?
Yeah.
And that was a misconception. And also normalize things. Early on, I'd seen one of my family members shooting up, and I didn't realize that because I was 9 years old or something. But now I look back and I'm like, oh, that's what was happening. But in a child's mind, those are behaviors that get normalized that lead to bigger things. So I graduate high school, when I'm 22, I think, I get with my son, Seth, his father. I'm going to refer to him as Seth's father because his name is Seth's father.
Okay.
I got married to him. He was an addict. I didn't know this, I had Seth when I was 23. He is now 18 years old and knows everything, but he's a beautiful human. His dad went to prison, and in my judgmental brain, I'm like, well, if he doesn't love me enough to stop doing drugs, then he won't love me enough to take care of my son. But I know that's not how that works now. And
Yeah.
the universe has turned the tables and told me to sit down for every judgment I've made on another person. And I used to look down the barrel of my nostrils at people that were using, like, what are they doing? But I was very caught up in my own world. I didn't see anything outside of me. I thought I was doing all the right things, but I wasn't. So like the first kind of, I guess, really traumatic thing happened when Seth was like 6 months old. I'm going to try to make this story quick because it's a little, it's a story. My mom, she's an alcoholic. I don't mean to talk shit on anybody in this. Okay. I'm just telling my story and exposing my trauma, and hopefully it helps somebody else. I've forgiven these people in my story. I just want to make that clear. But my mom, she's an alcoholic. She went to prison for 6 months for drinking and driving and the things that we do. And when she was in there, she got her house moved up to Salina, actually. When she got out, she didn't have the money to get the trailer moved back, and I did. So I gave her some money, and I got that trailer moved back to my house and my property. I lived next door to my dad. And I moved all my things in there. I made my son's bedroom up, and my mom was staying with us, but she wouldn't stop drinking. So I made her leave. And there was a day that I was at work that I went shopping with her that day. Like everything was fine. When I was at work, my dad calls me and he's like, your house is on fire. She had busted out the window to my son's room, poured gas in my son's room, and set all of our shit on fire. And well, that was obviously not okay. She went to prison for that. But during that, like my family is harassing me, different people in my family telling me like my mom's going to get raped in prison and all this crap. So I sent letters to the prosecutor asking them to let her out and stuff. And they did. My relationship with my mom today is good. As good as it can be. You know, when we love substances, that's where our love is. And I love her very much. But anyway, so that happened. And I divorced Seth's dad, which was on Friday the 13th. That's not an unlucky day. And 2011. Yeah, in 2011, because I'm not okay by myself, right? I always got to find somebody or something to fill that void. I started dating my other son's dad, and he was doing a lot of pills. Well, I don't do this, so it's okay, right? And I really like the example that Ashley used of the bad fruit, because eventually when we're around things enough, things get normalized. And he was doing the drugs and I wasn't, until that it wasn't like that. Like when one person is using, you're either both going to be using, you're not going to be together, you're both going to get clean. That's pretty much the options there. That was a violent relationship. He had me arrested after he'd hit me and stuff, you know, because I loved him, right? Not love, but that's what I thought at the time. So I kept my mouth shut, and he told the police things I did, but since I didn't say, I went to jail. There was a day that like he had beat me up pretty bad in front of my son and Seth, my oldest, you know, and I thought to myself, like, I'm not going to let this shit happen anymore. I picked up a hammer and a wine bottle, and I decided on the hammer. And by the time he got in the car, I had hammered out every window in that car except for one. And then I threw the hammer through the window and hit the dog, and she was okay. But I got arrested that day again, and that was enough for me. I'm like, I'm walking away from this, and I did. But by this time I was doing pills. All it took was someone to tell me to try this on a bad day and to try it, and I did. And I tried to keep like maintain a decent relationship with this guy as friends, because I have a problem of being a people pleaser and being overly compassionate, and an addict behavior of, even if this is harmful for me, I'm going to do it to make the other person feel better. So I tried to stay friends with him. And he had a knee surgery. I gave him some balloons for that knee surgery, and he just kept calling my phone. And I'm like, stop trying to get people to feel sorry for you, dude. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you anymore. I'm driving on the highway. I remember exactly where I was at this moment when this happened. And I heard him on the phone. He shot himself in the head when he was on the phone with me. I called back and he answered the phone. So I'm like, he didn't do this, like, you're stupid, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It didn't, if you shoot yourself, answer the phone in my mind. Okay. Through the night though, he keeps sending me all these texts and they're getting like belligerent and delirious. And like by the next morning I was concerned. So I went over there. He was laying on the bed with these stupid balloons I got him tied to his hand. There was blood on the side of his head where he had did that. The pillow was all bloody. And I'm just like, this is surreal, and he asks me to get this bullet out. And I'm like, I'm at the twilight zone right now. I run downstairs and I ask his mom, like, do you know what your son just did? And she's like, yeah, but I have to clean my house. So my brain is like trying to wrap my mind around all this stuff that's happening. I just didn't understand. And I went back up there to where he was at. And my thought was, he's going to tell the police I did this or something,
Yeah.
So I left and he went and he had brain surgery. They couldn't get it out. They just cleaned around it. And the only thing that he was doing wrong after that was putting the milk like in the cupboard. So instead of in the fridge, like little shit like that. So I got back with him because I felt manipulated, If you're with somebody because you felt like you've been manipulated into it, get out. Okay. I'm not sorry that I did that because I ended up getting pregnant with Xavier, my youngest now. He's 11. So that wasn't a mistake that I got back with him. But the same violence, the same stupid shit was happening. And I eventually did end up leaving. But my brain was so messed up after this. I didn't know, I had no coping skills. My dad was raised in a time where you stuff things. You're a man, you don't cry. And my dad is a nice mix of like composure, gangster, and intuitive. So he just handles his feelings in his own way.
Yeah.
But
it's a great combination.
I just kept stuffing. And I realize now that what that is that's blocks in my bag that I'm carrying. And I don't realize the weight that I'm carrying because I'm putting them in there one at a time. Right. So with no coping skills and all this crap that's going on, I'm staying at my dad's and I'm crying all the time. And my youngest son, my oldest son, Seth, is asking me like, what's wrong with you? And I see it start affecting him. So I start staying away from my dad's and I start leaving my kids there more. And a night I came to pick them up after work, my dad was like, you can't have them. And I called the police. I'm like, these are my kids. And the police were like, just leave them there. They're sleeping for the evening, And now I look back at that and I see what that was. They just leave them there because they were sleeping. But and the twists and turns that were going on in my brain, that was the first thing that told me you're not good enough to be a mom. Your kids are better off without you, like that type of thing. So I shut down and I started hanging out with people that were shooting up, and I'm not shooting up, so it's fine, right? No, it's not fine. But they say, like, you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. And that's what I did. I stayed at this trailer where these people were cooking meth, and I originally was addicted to the money, the power that came along with it. Like that people need something you want, that something disturbed inside of me was drawn to that. Okay. Normal people would run away, right? No, not us. So I stay there, and about 2 months later, there was just a time when the guy that was at the house that I was seeing at the time, because I'm with somebody else at this point, he just grabs my arm and he puts it in me. And I stayed awake for 9 days the first time I did it. I loved it. It made me stop feeling all that stuff that I'd been packing around for so long that was too heavy
Oh,
for me to know what to do with. And the thing I realized today is as soon as I put one in me, I change. I turn into darkness. And the most insidious, scary thing about this disease is I don't see it. I think I'm
mm,
fine. Everyone else is to blame, right? Everyone else is
yeah,
fucked up. If people would just leave me alone. I'm trying not to cuss, but I might. Um,
no, you're fine.
Are you good on
I
this?
yeah, I just fell in love basically. And I'd like to say that honestly, I think I was more in love with the needle than anything else. And
You know, a lot of
that
people
was,
say that.
yeah,
And
it's,
I
I
think
think it's, you can what?
I said everybody I use the needle too, but I like the drug more than I did the needle. I hated shooting up. It was like, but I did it. You know what I mean? I was more addicted to the drug than I was the needle. But a lot of people say like they get more addicted just to watch the blood go up in the needle before they shoot themselves
Yeah.
up. It's yeah, they're drawn
And
to it.
it's crazy. It's just like you see that thing and you associate that with euphoria. Now I work at a medical facility now, and there's needles around all the time. The first time I saw that, I was like, but
Yeah,
now that's not what that is. That's a medical thing. We can
Yeah.
retrain our brain.
Yeah, you
yeah,
Um,
for
start
sure.
seeing shit for what it really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I this person that I was hanging out with that gave me that, like, we were not a good force together. We did a lot of bad shit. Like the motorcycle club burned down the trailer we were staying in because of money that we stole. Like we just did not care about consequences. And this is like the part that I look back at my story and I see that I was chased by demons and protected by angels because something was keeping me there and it wasn't me. Like, I felt like the first time I went to the trap house, that was weird and uncomfortable. And it's amazing how quickly you can get used to something. And I
yeah,
did. I got used to that in that self-preservation mode. And I also did heroin. I I remember hearing people talk on here about it. Like I thought I had the flu. Like nobody told me that was going to happen. Not that that probably would have stopped me because I thought everybody had my best interest at heart at that time, right?
yeah.
There's another level of darkness. When people say to me, "Why don't you just stop?" I think that this person's never seen addiction really take the gloves off because that once you see past that curtain, your visions change forever. And I'm grateful that not everybody sees or knows that, but don't judge the people that do because just like me, you'll pay for it. I think that a lot. So that shit's dirty. Methamphetamine. It don't matter if you get it from Mexico or if you cook it in the trailer next door. The shit's dirty. They bring it over in gas tanks and shit like that. Like it is dirty and it is nasty and it kills everything it comes in contact with. I haven't known a lot of people that use methamphetamine that got the flu and things like that because
They don't.
viruses can't really live inside of it because it
They
kills
don't.
everything.
They
And
do not. They do not get sick. And I said that same thing when I first got sober. Like, but then I got sick. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
like, man, I haven't felt sick in
Yeah.
God years. But
Yeah,
yeah,
our bodies really show us what we did to them after we get sober.
yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
I had been staying at this house, somebody else that was cooking, and we were really sick. We needed heroin, and there was only a truck with no brakes on it. So of course we're driving the truck to go get the stuff, and we crash. And I'm 104 pounds, and the seat belt like hits me back underneath my hip. I had a big bruise. It wasn't a big deal at the time. The thing I know about blood infections today is if you have an injury, they migrate to the injury.
Mm.
This is where me and Ashley's stories kind of collide, and it's amazing. I started getting really sick. I couldn't walk, but I'm not going to the hospital. You know, they're gonna tell me stuff I don't want to hear. They're gonna try to. I don't go in public. Okay. Um, And around this time, I was also supposed to be having visitations with my kids, and I didn't go because I didn't want anybody to see me like this. I didn't want my family to see me like this. I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I wanted to stop, but I just couldn't. I didn't know how. And I had been using my same needle over and over again, like the things that we do, you know. I got really sick, and I started having like these really big white spots on my hands. Like I didn't
Mm.
have any abscesses or anything that you could see, which was abnormal for me. But I did have these big white spots on my hands. And I got to where I couldn't even go anywhere and get anything anymore because I could barely walk. And the the day that everything came falling down, I decided I was going to go try to get some meth. And I did manage to do that. And I did it, and this time it was different. It didn't even give me a split second of relief. I just felt really sick after I did it. And this is where God shows up on time. God always shows up on time, at just the right moment. The place that I was staying at, I took the person's phone and I threw it in the yard because they wouldn't do whatever I said to do. And their family member called to have a well check done on them, and the police showed up where I was. They took one look at me and was like, "You're going to the hospital." And I was like, "No, I'm not." They're like, "You're going to jail if you don't go to the hospital." I'm like, "We're going to the hospital."
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, now.
That's what I did. I went to the hospital, and they told me they were going to send me to Riverside. And I took the ride up to Riverside, and I had some drugs in my pocket. I tried to give them to the ambulance driver because I was done now, you know. And the ambulance driver was like, "I can't take those," you know. So I just threw them away when I got up there. But when I got to Columbus, everything started really going down. I started feeling really, really weird. I started getting really cold. I told him I was really cold. The guy told me I wasn't. I had like 7 blankets on top of me. I started puking over the side of the bed rail, and I like lost consciousness. And I don't really remember what happened for a few minutes, however long it was. And I woke up, and all my family was there. Like they had called my family and told them to come because I wasn't going to make it. Like my dad was there. My aunt was there, my cousin was there, my mom was there, my brother was there, and I'm just looking around, like not really understanding what's happening. And I fall back asleep for what I thought was like 20 minutes. It was actually like 12 hours. They had gave me 2 blood transfusions, and when they did that was when I was able to be a little bit more alert. I had a blood clot in my lung. I had sepsis, I had endocarditis, like my tricuspid valve was messed up. They said that they were going to have to go in and cut the infection out because there wasn't time. I had to have both of my hands from here to here on both of my hands cut open. And I had to have 3 surgeries on my hip to remove stuff. I had to have a laminectomy, which is like that curly part of your spine is the lamina. I had to have those removed on my spine from my L2 to my S4. I was in the hospital from August 16th to October 27th. And I remember those days because that changed my life, man. You know, all this changed my life. Everything we do changes our life. But I had to go to like this rehabilitation nursing home, stupid hospital, and have a PICC line and the IV antibiotics, and they were going to replace my heart valve. And I was so terrified of that. I prayed the whole time I was in the hospital. And this is where God shows up, because 2 days before I left the hospital, I went to see the endo, the cardiologist. I went to see the cardiologist and they said that my heart valve had healed. And this is the power of this disease, right? That should stop me. I had no tools. Okay. I left the hospital with every intention of being sober. They had me on so much pain medication. And then I just leave there and I wait a week and I use again. And it wasn't because I didn't want to, I lost custody of my kids when I was in the hospital. That was very traumatic for me. But during all of this, I just couldn't think about my family. Like, I knew I loved them, and there was moments when that would just eat at my soul, but I couldn't think about them. Everyone's better off without me because I know what I'm doing and I know I'm killing myself. And every time we sit down to do that stuff, we know it could kill us, but we
Yeah.
don't stop.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. And I was staying with my mom at this time. She's drinking a lot, and so I'm able to successfully, whatever successfully means, manipulate her into letting me do what I want. And she came in one day, and all I was thinking about was I had the spoon. And she came in and I hid the spoon behind my back and I had the needle in my hand. And now that I'm a parent and my kids are older, I cannot even imagine how that must have felt for her, right?
Yeah.
She's like, you need to go to rehab. And obviously I do, but I'm fine, right?
Yeah.
But that was the first time I was willing to accept that maybe I needed to go to treatment because
Yeah.
I almost killed myself and I didn't care. And that's kind of like what Ashley said too, like the fact that I didn't care was what scared me. I can relate a lot to that. And so I went to jail a lot of times throughout all of this, blah, blah, blah. You know what we do. We go to jail, we do it again. We just do this same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And the first place I went to was Rural Women's in Athens. You are not allowed to have any sugar. It's changed a little bit now, but then you weren't allowed to have any sugar. You weren't allowed to have caffeine. You weren't allowed to have a phone. You weren't allowed to smoke. So I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm around all these girls detoxing from meth and other things, and I have no coping skills, and I'm there.
No sugar. You
No,
need
I know.
sugar.
I love sugar today, just to be
Yeah.
clear. If you're in recovery and you don't like sugar, I don't know what you're doing with your life. No judgment. So I'm there a week and I see my friend leave, so I go out and I follow her because I'm going to save her, and that's not what happened, obviously. I go back to my mom's house and my mom is like, Stephanie, you have to go somewhere because I cannot deal with you. And she called the police on me. I told the police that she chopped a baby up and put it down a well. She did not, in fact, do that. I actually saw that police officer since I've been clean, by the way, too. And it's a good feeling to see cops after you can be like, I'm not a train wreck anymore that much.
Yeah.
So I go to Portsmouth, which is a beautiful place. TCC did so much for me. And you think like you relapse and none of that stuff matters. But in fact, we are getting tools and seeds are getting planted along the way, right?
Yeah.
I get to TCC and I'm going to try. I'm going to try to the best of my ability to do this. And I did like the 3 months or whatever it was an inpatient. I went to my first meeting up there for all the wrong reasons, of course, because I'm not like those people. They're a lot worse than I am, right? All the judgments that I place.
You say the old hairy legs. Yeah.
And like, I tried, I got a sponsor, but I didn't really talk to her. I have to talk to my sponsor every day now. Now this was a little sticky for me to do this at all because of anonymity, right? That comes with the 12-step programs. But I recover out loud to keep people from dying in silence. I hear that all the time. Like, I can break my own anonymity, but not yours. And the reason why that's such an issue also is like, if I'm out here advertising these programs and I go back out, what does that say about the programs that I'm in? So Travis said it pretty well the other night on here. Like, if there's an A in the program, I probably belong in it. And that's pretty accurate. But that was my first introduction to that. And I got a sponsor, but you can't half-ass recovery. Or you get half-ass results. And Brady likes to say it sometimes, like, I worked the steps off the wall and I got off the wall results. And that's exactly what happened. Like, oh, I know I have a problem. Kind of powerless, right? I couldn't even say I was an addict. And there's no way that I'm not anything but an addict, right? Today I realize that. But I came in here, as a lot of people do, with an ego of, I have to protect myself. I have to take care of myself. All these people want something from me. And the meth does that paranoid stuff to you. To me, it makes me, I think it still honestly affects my brain today. I know it does. There's some holes in my brain. I forget stuff, whatever, but it's a while after I stop using meth before my brain starts to heal. I could see the effects of it for quite some time afterwards. And like I said, I still can. I kind of think maybe it causes like ADHD type behavior and things like that, but that's, another issue. So I'm in TCC and I'm doing great. I have this best friend up there. We're trying, and I get in sober living, and we're going to relapse over Christmas break, but we have it planned, and we're going to pass the drug test. And so we're still going to be in recovery, and it's going to be fine. This is delusional thinking. Like, this disease will talk to me in my own voice. It will tell me my shittiest ideas are great. And that's why I got to stay connected today, because my ideas are still not great. So that's what we had planned. So I was so excited about this relapse while I'm in recovery, that I didn't even wait until the vacation. I just went out one day, and I called my best friend that I'm supposed to care about. We care about people. We don't give them drugs. Okay. That's a misconception on the street and a misconnection. And I had a lot of trouble with that when I got sober, because those people were like my family. I saw those people every day when I didn't see my family. So turning my back on those people was hard for me. And when I run into them today, sometimes it's still hard, but I got to know that I got to care about myself enough to walk away from shit that's not good for me. And so we went down, and we're shooting dope at the recovery house. And here I am with the program and in my brain, and the seeds planted, and the drugs in my body. And I hate myself. I called the lady that's above the housing, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing, and she's like, you need to go back to treatment. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm fine. Right. So I pack my shit and I leave. And 9 months later, is when I'm willing to even look at myself. I should have went back to treatment, right? I didn't. And so I come home, and I'm even more paranoid than usual. I don't want to use it the same places. I go to Seth's dad's house, and in the midst of all this too, Xavier's dad had passed away. And I didn't have, he passed away because Xavier was not hurt in that car accident, but he broke his neck. He stayed in the hospital for like a year, and then he died of a respiratory infection. And I didn't process that. I stuffed it in my bag, and I moved on, and I put substances on top of it. So then I come back, and I'm staying at Seth's dad's house, not because I want anything to do with this dude, because I can't stand him. And I'm using there, because I'm safe there. I can sell things there. I feel like it's a place that I can be. But I see everything falling apart around me. They're beating people up and taking their money and not selling them drugs and just stupid shit. I shouldn't have been there. Okay. But I was. And I'm asleep one day and I hear this loud shotgun, but the flash bang, and in comes the sheriff's department. And
Oh yeah.
that's the moment when this is like in a car accident when I know I know what I did, but it's too late to turn back. You can't be sorry now. You're zip tied by the sheriff's department and you're going. And that was like a real moment of self-reflection for me. And for the first time in his life, he took responsibility for the shit that he had. I went to jail for a child support warrant. But conveniently enough, the day before, I decided I was going to quit. I gave all my needles away and I took some Suboxone. I called my aunt and was like, I need out of here. And she was like, you can't come here like that. My grandson comes here. You need to get well before you come here. And so I didn't. I stayed there. When I got out of jail, I went to her house and I was like defeated. She looked at me and she took me in. The whole time I was at TCC, my Aunt Tina and my Uncle Danny, they were sending me money. They were coming to visit me. They were taking care of me in there. The rest of my family wasn't talking to me. They hated me for what I did to myself and to them because they didn't understand. And addiction doesn't just affect us. It affects everybody around us, right? So I stayed there and I detoxed, and of course I had to use again, right? So I did. But I went back to treatment. I put myself in treatment again. I don't know, you notice this pattern here. Fall on my face, get up. Fall on my face, get up. So I go back to that rural women's, the very first place that I'd ever been, and I took that shit as seriously as I could. I did not make any plans of relapsing. I put myself in every book that I could. I participated in every group. I didn't have no sugar, no cigarettes, no coffee, no phone, like, which is crazy. But I did that. And I still didn't have the right tools. I didn't have the connections. I didn't have the program. I didn't know what to do with my feelings when I left there. I had weed hid in my wall at the house. So I went there and I did that. I realized today that I can't put nothing in my body. Nothing. Okay. Because as soon as I do, I change. So I got out and I was just like sick of myself. That's that point when I realized that I can't stop. I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm gonna die. I don't want to die, but I don't want to live either, and my choices are demonstrating that. And I'm not capable of loving anything or anyone. Not because I don't want to, but my mind is so fixated on that hamster wheel of I gotta get more, I gotta feel better, I gotta. Um,
All the
so
things. Yep.
that's so exhausting.
It is.
Being an addict is, even when you're resting, you're like, what am I gonna do when this is gone? And I put myself in an outpatient program here called Health Recovery Services. I got on Suboxone. I have my own opinions about MATs, but that kept me from doing heroin every day. Okay. It gave me consistency in my life. So I could at least start to work on the cognitive stuff. They didn't kick me out if I failed for having meth in my system, which I did sometimes. And I went in and I told them, like, I did this, which was like giving myself accountability. They're like, come and tell us before you do it. I started to make like my first connections with people that were good for me. I couldn't go back to the people that were using that I thought I was connected to. I can't go hang out with these normal people because they don't get me. So then what do I do? What do I do? Today I realized that I have to stay connected with as many people in recovery as I did during active addiction. I gotta have people around me that are gonna tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Brutally honest people, and I got them, I don't always like what I'm gonna hear, but I started going to meetings, and I have never been in a healthy relationship in my life up to this point, right? So there's this guy Brady, that's going to be on here in a few days. He was at TCC at the time, and we started talking. I was still on Suboxone at the time, and I had spent quite some time alone with myself before this. I want to make that clear. Like, we have to learn how to be whole in ourselves before we can have anything to offer to somebody else, I think. And sometimes somebody helps us through that. I just know that you guys know the difference because I see how you interact with each other, and I see that, and there's something authentic there. And so Brady moves in with me, and we're doing this recovery thing. We're going to meetings and we're doing it. And I get a sponsor down here, Tadera. That's Travis's old lady. And when I first meet her and I want her to be my sponsor, she tells me that she does this 12-step program. I'm like, I don't have that issue. Never mind. I come back later, like, it turns out I have all the issues. Do you still want to sponsor me?
Yeah.
And she did, because she's very compassionate and loving, and I need a safe place to be able to talk today. And she provided that for me. And Brady provides that for me. We need to be able to speak our truth to the people that are in our lives. If we don't feel safe, we're not in the right place. Don't spend long where you don't belong. And I started working the steps with this woman, but I put myself in a position I probably shouldn't have been in, and I knew not to. And I used, and I told Brady about it, and then he used too. And I look over at this person that I authentically love, and I see him change. I don't see the change in myself, right? But I see him change from someone that is glowing about recovery to someone that is saturating demons. And
Mm.
I couldn't handle it. I couldn't stand what that was doing to him. And I hated myself for making that choice, but I didn't run away. I picked up the phone and I called Tadera and I said, look, this is what I did. And are you still going to sponsor me? And she's like, of course, I love you. And I remember where I was at that time, and she remembers where she was at that time. Because that now, as a sponsor, I look back and I see like that you become attached to these people. Like those ladies, the ladies that I have now, like, they mean so much to me. I learned something from all of them, and we can all learn something from each other, right? And they probably don't realize that they teach me more about life than I could learn any other way, right? So I go back to these meetings, and this time that relapse was necessary. That scared the shit out of me, because that's all it takes. One bad choice. And I can relapse long before I relapse. I'm sure you guys know that. Like, I will have behavior patterns that are not okay, and I know that. And like, being in recovery and working the steps helps me pull out that rotten shit that's inside of me and set it on the table and look at it, right? I take a look for the first time at everything in my life that has caused me to be this way, primarily me. Right? Um, I was always like, I'm going to face my demons, but the closest I ever came to facing demons was doing the step work and looking at my part in shit. Because she had pointed out to me, like, what is the common denominator in all this? And me, with my ego so big, I'm like, what? She's like, you. I'm like, oh, there's a difference in having an ego and having God confidence, if that makes sense. Like when you're full of God, nothing can touch you. And that's a good feeling to walk with that and to walk in faith. And when I say God, I hope that doesn't scare anybody off, because my conception of God is a lot of different things, right? I see God in people. I see God in synchronicities. God shows up in shows that I'm watching and says stuff that has things to do with what's going on in my life, and it's crazy. God shows up in all kinds of ways. I don't put God in a box today. So I worked these steps, and it changed me. It honestly changed me. And when I first went in to these meetings, I'm looking around at these people like, these people are fucking weird, right?
Yeah, fucking big
But
yeah,
yeah,
ain't nobody this happy.
yeah, and
Yeah,
when I set that backpack with all those boulders down in it, I can be that happy, because
Yeah.
it turns out I never knew how to be happy my whole life. And I didn't even realize that until I actually felt authentic happiness. Like that's a whole different thing, like a oneness with God and things around you, and to just laugh at dumb shit, right?
Yeah. Sounds like me.
yeah.
You have to
Girl,
laugh at
always laugh.
yourself too.
Yes, for sure.
I stay very connected with these people, though, these weirdos that today I see beauty in everything. As before, like I could pick up a rotten thing in everything around me. And don't get me wrong, like that disease still tries to creep in and tell me, like, you don't need to go to meetings. You don't need to talk to these people. Like, but I can identify that thinking today because of the steps and because of continuing to take inventory. And driving is still something I'm working on, because nobody knows how to drive. But I I've learned a lot, and in learning a lot, I've realized that I don't actually know shit, right? I have to set aside everything that I think I know to make room for what God wants to show me, because if I think I know everything, I'm not open for anything. There was something they said somewhere I was at the other day that was like, you can't have your hand free for blessings if you're still holding on to grudges. And I have to forgive all those people that I felt like contributed to trauma in my life. I was meant to be here.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the moments, and I'm sure you guys have experienced them, the moment when you see something in your path happening to somebody else and you can be like, I've been there. I know what that feels like. My youngest son, who is 11 years old now, he was calling my stepmom mom. And when I first went there, I hated that. I'm like, I'm your mom. Well, have you
Yeah.
been showing up? Have you been showing up like his mom? No, I haven't been. That kid needed love somewhere, right? Today he knows that I'm his mom. He knows. He tells me I have dementia, but he knows I'm his mom.
Yeah.
He's very smart. And my other son, Seth, he has moved back in with me. And he has his girlfriend living there too, which is crazy. But we're there to teach them things today, right? Because things have been taught to us, and parenting is like a landmine. Like shit's gonna blow up in my face, no matter what direction I step. But my youngest son, Xavier, he still lives with my dad, which is next door to me, and that's okay. He'll be ready when he's ready. And
Absolutely.
I asked him, like, are you mad at me? That I just asked him recently when we were playing basketball, like, are you mad at me? You have to live with your grandpa? And he was like, yeah, a little. And I'm like, okay. Then we just kept playing basketball because I need to provide a safe place for him to speak today. He needs, they're entitled to their feelings. The kids are, we put them in those positions, they're allowed to feel. And if we don't allow them to feel, guess what they're going to do? They're going to put that shit in their backpack and carry
Yeah.
it. Right.
Yep.
So that thing about my son calling somebody else mom, I was in a meeting and somebody shared about that was happening to them. And that's the moment I feel God, like, okay, I've been there. I can share this. I can't go back on the moments that I've lost, but I can help other people go through the moments that they're going through. And that to me is beyond priceless. We don't have to regret the past and wish to shut the door on it. I don't have to be ashamed of who I am today. Like I'm at the medical school talking about shooting dope. It's probably fine. But
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
yeah, my boss, he knows what I do. He knows where I've been. He knows what I do because I talk about it because that gives me accountability too. Like if you see me doing behaviors I'm not supposed to be doing, I need to be called out on that because I'm not okay. I like to tell people who I am and who I have the ability to be because that me is not gone. It's sleeping. It's in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's it.
Yeah, I always say that I keep her locked up there in a cage. Sometimes when she tries to yell at me, I dangle the key in front of her and remind her who has the key. You know what I mean? Like I do. I
And
run
that's
this
so
shit right now.
accurate.
Yeah, you have to.
It is. It's very accurate because the right situation can let that shit out. And
Yep.
that's not,
And
you
they're
got
just
to have
waiting.
people in your life to tell you, like,
Yep.
you're being some type of way, wrangle that shit in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I got my CDCA preliminary.
Yay.
I got that. I'm not going to probably do anything with that. I do not want to work in recovery. I have a lot of respect for the people that do, but the way I help in recovery today, I have some say in how much I do, when I need to rejuvenate, what I'm exposed to. And if I do that I just don't want to do it as a job. I'm really happy in my job, which is crazy. Authentic happiness today. One of the things that make me happiest is going outside and feeding deer.
Yeah, that was awesome. Those pictures you sent, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
They're wonderful. And that's
Deer.
simple stuff.
What is
Simple
it?
stuff. It's simple stuff I couldn't appreciate before,
Yeah.
like just being able to pay bills and eat food. And like, we can get caught up in this is stupid, but it's a
Girl, I
blessing.
know. Listen, I have been working on a sourdough starter from scratch. And I'm on day 15 and I have never woke up so freaking happy because I thought I lost her, right? I already named her the whole nine. And I thought I lost her. Like, oh my God, I can't even get Luna to grow. Like, I can't, and I got up this morning and like you said, God, there was God. I walked past her, didn't pay attention to her at first, come back through, and oh my, I was like, oh. And I had to tell my husband who was in the bathroom that my Luna is alive.
Yeah.
Luna. I love that name. The
So I
moon.
get pictures at work.
She gets pictures at work. I'm like, she looks beautiful.
You get to look at her.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's that the
Little
little
things.
things mean the
Yes.
most. God shows up in the little stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think it's that, earlier when you were talking about relapse, like it really is. It's the small behaviors. The small behaviors become big ones.
Mm.
For me, it's little things like if I don't make the bed every morning, or if I'm like, nah, them dishes can wait, like little things like that. Like I have to stay on top of that shit.
Yeah. Same.
Those are dominoes, right?
Yeah.
Dominoes that I didn't see before. Because if somebody would have told me littering's going to make you relapse, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Right. But I see that today. Like, don't litter.
Yeah. Yeah. All bad behaviors, you know what I mean? Like, but you're doing great today, How long do you have?
3 years and 5 days.
Yay.
And just
See?
today, just today. We're
And
all
maybe
one
just a
choice away
second.
from being.
Yeah. I said, and even just this second, realistically, but like you're doing it, right? You're doing
Sometimes.
it. Girl, I still struggle. And I got almost 8 years. Like, my mental health is my biggest downfall. You know what I mean? Like, but I pick up on when I'm not like where I think I should be. You know what I mean? And then it's like, but I'm really good at like working through things and calling myself out on bullshit. If I don't, he definitely does, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it like we're addicts. We're never gonna get it, like all of it, like all at once. We just learn how to treat our disease every day for the rest of our lives. And then like what you're doing with meetings and doing all these great things, that's exactly what you're doing. You're learning coping skills, you're doing the steps, you're going to meetings, you got a sponsor. Everything that you're doing right now is what you need to treat your disease on a daily basis.
No, that's
And
the prescription for sure.
yes.
Are you guys happy that you're addicts?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't bother
It-
me. Once I accepted it, you know what I mean? I think it made me a better person.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not an addict. I can quit what I want, just not today, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I think it showed me real happiness
Yeah.
because we really don't appreciate the light until we've been through that dark
Yeah, I was about
little
to say
shiny
that
stuff.
too. Like a lot of things that most people take for granted, like it's some of the biggest blessings I have. You know, because I say it all the times, like during the darkest times of my life, everything I used to pray for, I have now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been blessed with it. And the joy that comes from it, real, true, genuine joy, you know, it's priceless.
Oh, it is. And that's one of my favorite things about recovery is the joy that I have today. And like the little things that you brought up, like I can name so many because I love baking foods. I'm on a bread kick, guys. I'm about to be a sourdough queen. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to about to do all the things, but I love to bake. I love to try new things. I love making sweet stuff, breads, you name it. And now I'm going to be doing sourdough, so that's going to be yay, you know.
I remember
And
there wasn't no money to eat before. We didn't have money to eat.
no,
Like
who would have thought
I
that you could go do some things and roll some bread and put it in the oven and you got bread for a week?
As long as I had Red
yeah,
Bull, like Red, yeah, Red Bull and Skittles, that's all I needed.
no. I'm gonna snapple apple and double decker oatmeal cream pies twice a week, and that's nutrition.
Yes.
That's crazy. Like that's the
Yes.
difficult thing about getting sober is gaining weight, and then you're like, oh, but wait, you're actually a normal weight. Like
Yes.
94 pounds is not normal, right? Like,
Girl, I was 60.
Yeah, I weighed
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I weighed 100. I think it was like 104 pounds. Now I'm like 190. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it does. It definitely makes you feel like you've
Went from-
gained some weight.
Went from junky to chunky. You know what I mean?
Oh,
There's nothing
there
wrong with
there
that.
was a girl that was like, it's better to be sober and thick than strung out and sick, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm okay with that today, you know.
Yeah.
Food is awesome. It's good because I would go so long without eating that I wouldn't even realize that that was what was wrong for me
Yeah.
until I was like not okay. And it turns out you need to drink water too. Did you know that? Like,
Man, I still struggle with that. Unless it's summertime at work, and I'll fucking chug water. But
you gotta drink water. That's like running your car without oil. You
Or
know?
running with you're running without oil and then you get kidney stones.
Mm-hmm. Water's
you
very
drink
smart.
water.
You know, water, huh? You
said,
got
but you
kidney stones, don't you? I heard that. That's terrible.
Listen, I feel better today because I do believe that I passed it or passed one maybe. And I'm still in some pain, but not like I was. Listen, guys, first take it from somebody who's had 7, sorry, God rest my son's soul. But I've never like that's. I was like, oh, I could do a kidney stone.
I thought I was dying. When I had
Oh, I
mine,
didn't
thought
think I was dying,
I did.
but listen,
I was
it
like,
hurt.
this is it. I got sober for this. You know what I mean?
But
I heard you here. Like, I'm grateful for these kidney stones.
yes, at least I'm sober enough
No,
to feel them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like,
I'm grateful to be sober, but I'm not grateful for kidney stones. Like,
yeah,
you're,
true
I
that.
admire you.
They told me that doctor was like, well, welcome to the kidney stone family. I said, what do you mean? He was like, once you get kidney stones, you're always going to get a kidney stone. So he told me I needed to cut off of my Red Bull. And I'm just like, man, I only drink one a day. You know what I mean? I'm justifying the fuck out of it.
We
Like,
need to cut back to the 12
yeah.
ounces.
I was like, man, like, how much more do I need to cut back? But then in my addict mind, I'm like, well, maybe if I just don't drink coffee and I just drink Red Bull, I'll be good.
Substitution. You look at the behaviors come out in other ways. I love caffeine, but it does like my drug addict behaviors will come out in other ways if I want.
All of them. And that's why I told myself it really doesn't freaking matter. Just drink it. You get a kidney stone, deal with it. Like if you're not gonna stop, like so
Yeah,
I'm
don't
really
worry.
seriously thinking about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fine.
It is fine. It could be worse. And it's funny the things we worry about today. I'm like, I can't take too much Tylenol. And then back at what I was doing, like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I do want to live today, you know?
Yeah. You know what, that I think when your light switches on to that want and you see the want and need and to be sober, this is what you get, right?
Mhm.
You get us, what we're doing right now, and we're able to laugh at like me and my kidney stones and
Kidney
the
stones.
the sourdough that I brought alive, or you know what I mean, or us just laughing at the things that we used to think was great for us. You know what I mean? You know, you being however many pounds you were, me being 60, this on 104, and like, look at us now though. Look, like, it's okay to eat a whole bunch of
Handle
spaghetti.
that. I couldn't handle that before. When I was not okay, being around people that was happy was painful to me.
Yeah.
And so I try to be mindful of that today when people first started coming in the rooms, because it is hard for some reason to be around happiness when you are hurting and when I'm hurting inside. And yeah. And I really like what Ashley said too about the people that are hurting. Well, they'll hurt other people. That's the way that
Yeah.
works. Hurt people, hurt
Yeah.
people. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with me. If I can be okay no matter what's going on around me. And that's what I've learned today, that like the world can be falling apart and I can still be okay. I don't have to fall apart because shit's falling apart everywhere, because shit will fall apart. Like,
Yeah.
It will. In an instant. Like a second. It could take a second. You know what I mean? Just one little thing can just ruin your whole progress and take you back out. Like that's why it's important to keep connected. Fill your toolbox with tools and not rocks and demons or darkness. You know what I mean?
I didn't understand why I kept falling on my face, because it wasn't because I didn't want to. I can't stand that. I get on those sites and I read the comments of they just didn't want to get sober, or they just need blah blah blah. Like, you don't understand addiction. Okay. And I wanted to stop. I just like could not, no matter what I did. Right. Nobody wants to be a drug addict.
No.
Hmm.
They do not. So what does surrender look like for you today?
Surrender is, I have to surrender. That is the secret to this. Faith and hope, those form destiny, but surrender is necessary, because I'm not actually in charge of anything. That is a total misconception. I get in God's way with my shit. There's two like analogies that I liked, because one was like that I can be putting my car in neutral and smashing the gas and getting nowhere, And that's what I do with myself. I expunge all my energy worrying and getting in the way and trying to fix this piece and set this thing up. And I don't need to do any of that. 90% of the time, things will work out without me doing anything. Right.
Yeah.
And our feelings come back really hard because we don't feel anything before, and now we feel everything. And somebody had told me that was like taking trash and throwing it back in the back seat of your car every day. And then when you get sober, you slam on the brakes and all that trash comes to the front of the car.
Yes.
That's definitely how it is. We got to ask people to help us clean out the car. That's the sober support, right?
Yes, that's a great analogy. I like that. I like that. So why is it important today for you to define a higher power personally? How is that important for you? Sorry, got tongue tied.
The place that I work, I work with somebody who is very a certain way about his beliefs, and I'm wrong because energy is not a real thing. He says to me, I'm like, okay, science dictates otherwise, but whatever. I spent a lot of time trying to argue with him about that, but then I realized that nobody else needs to understand what my God is. That is between me and God, right?
Yeah.
And we know God. One of my sponsees, my friend, I should say, had said to me yesterday that she knows the difference in God's will because most of the time when it's the devil, it comes in here, the darkness, it comes in here, and God, we can feel it in here, right? And I think that's how it is for me. I can't let anybody else tell me what God is, and I can't get upset if you tell me that what I think is not what you think. My only job today is to respect other people's beliefs. I don't have to agree with them, but I don't have to push my shit on you either. You figure your stuff out with your own journey. If you ask me, I'll be happy to tell you whatever you want to ask me. But we shouldn't interfere with other people's journeys because they're on their own journey unless they ask, right?
Agreed. Yes.
How do you define success in recovery?
Not with money.
Yes.
People become held hostage to by money. That is a chain, right? The more money we have, the more money we spend, and I could not get $5 before. I'm going to sell all this. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have all this. And none of that ever happened. I always needed $5 more, right?
Yeah.
But money is not important to me today. The things that are important to me don't cost anything. That's my son being at the house and hugging me before he goes to bed. That's me getting to talk to you guys. Like, that's running into people that are having issues that I'm supposed to see that day because they're actually helping me too. It's not with money. And trying to stay present is important too, because all we have is right now. If I'm waiting for tomorrow to be happy, then I'm never going to be happy.
So what does life feel like for you fully present? Being able to be present. Yeah.
It's intense. I can confuse intensity and anxiety. Like, just because I feel something heavily does not mean it's going to kill me. It might feel like it, right? I still have to tell myself that my feelings are okay, because especially when I first got sober, like, the sunshine was, somebody in the program don't like when I use the word triggers, but I'm going to use that word. The sun was like triggering to me because it was a good feeling, and I associated that good feeling with that stuff. And so I don't even remember what you asked me now. I'm going off.
I don't even remember. Oh, I said, what does life feel like being able to be fully present?
Yeah, intense. Yeah, it's intense. We have to sit down and put our seatbelt on because everything that can happen will happen. And if it can happen to you, it will happen to you. If you don't think it will happen, like that's just the way it is as us addicts. If something can go wrong, it will freaking go wrong.
It's gonna
And
go
we might as
wrong,
well,
yes, for sure.
and that's okay. Like we can be happy with it. And I today like enjoy my relationship. I feel like I can spend time alone if I want to, and I have to. I have to have alone time because that's, I don't know, I just feel like it's important and cleansing. Me and him work in the same building. He's downstairs right now. And we live together. But I enjoy the time that we spend together. At the end of the day, ladies, find you somebody that you're not going to want to kill after you spend all day with them, right?
Yeah.
It's more than just physical. I enjoy spending time with my dogs. Like I
Did
love
you
my
hear
dogs.
mine? She heard
Mhm.
something and she's like,
They show us unconditional love, right? They're always happy to see us and grateful for
yeah.
tiny shit. Like we can learn a lot from them. We really can.
What was it like for you, like the first time you experienced solitude instead of isolation?
Mm.
So I tried to use isolation as a means of getting to sobriety. And that is only so dryety, right?
Yeah.
Because I was just dry. I wasn't working on anything. It turns out that I'm always taking me with me. So I'm just going to stay alone with me and that's going to fix me. And that's not at all how
Yeah.
that works. So I would try to be alone, and I had to take some time away from men because I was always trying to fill that void with something. And it turns out that all I need is power and faith, the higher power and faith and hope. But I had to spend some time alone and get used to me before I could be any use to anybody else. And I still am. I'm still trying to get used to me because I'm just learning about what I like. I spent so much time not in alignment with what was meant for me. It was hard. It was hard to be alone a lot. I wanted to pick up the phone and call people I knew I shouldn't talk to. I wanted to go be in situations I knew I shouldn't be in, and I can just do this one time, and that's not the way that works. And today I can recognize the difference in boredom and peace.
Mm.
Because
Yes.
when you're used
Yeah.
to all that stuff happening all the time around you and all that chaos, and then everything's quiet, that's uncomfortable. But I literally crave that shit today. Like I go to Walmart and I'm around too many other energies. I need to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, like if she makes me go by myself, I'll be calling her like, listen.
She's like, I
Walmart
gotta get
will
out of here.
test.
There's too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walmart will test your spirituality for sure.
Yeah. And you're gangster.
Yeah.
And you're gangster for sure. For sure.
I try
So what?
to rate how.
Go
Go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
listening.
Go ahead.
I was saying that I try to rate how I am doing spiritually by how I feel about the birds.
Oh, okay.
Like if I hear the birds making noise and I want to tell them to shut up, then I'm probably not okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. It does make sense.
Damn, I guess I do.
I don't. I
do
heard
that with the dogs.
I
man.
heard it today, and I was like, "Oh my God, bird spring is right
Yeah,
around the
yeah.
corner." That was my mindset. I was like, to hear something because I work all day at home. I work from home, and I don't get to. I talk to some people sometimes, but I don't interact with people much. So, getting to open, the curtains or hear birds chirping, that's like, that's like a privilege.
It's always like a matter of perception change,
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
I
Yes.
mean, I was so used to like every day being the worst day of my life that like And it's real easy to get trapped back in that thing. That is, I feel like the way my disease is most active today is for me to accidentally fall into old thinking.
Yeah.
But because of programs and stuff and people and sponsorship and all of those beautiful things, I can be like, okay, you should not be thinking like this. Shame on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can also
Yeah.
have compassion with ourselves today and be gentle with ourselves. Like if God can have grace with us, we can have grace with ourselves.
Yeah. You have to. You also have to make amends with yourself in the beginning. That was really hard for me at first. But that's when I really started building the foundation for my life that I have today, was when I made amends with myself for everything that I did. You know, I was like, man, because the first sponsor I ever had, she told me, how am I going to make amends with other people if I can't make amends with myself first?
Mm.
So that's when I truly learned what forgiveness was. So, you know, I did that. And then, yeah, it made me who I am today, realistically. Like, made me look at things a lot differently, you know. I used to say from a different set of glasses, but they're my glasses today, you know, and I can see things a lot more clearer. So, you know, maybe look at that. You know, some people need to look at that stuff like that. You know what I mean? So,
It is
grow.
nice to have a sponsor to point out things to us.
Yeah,
And
she was my
and
first sponsor. She was from Portsmouth too.
yeah, I really
Yeah,
like Portsmouth a lot.
yeah,
But we all have our own set of glasses we've developed
yeah,
over time. And I also like the analogy, like our brains are like a cup of dirty water when we first come in, and we got to pour in the clean water, and that takes time to dilute that. But you know, stuff can still come out the woodwork that's in there. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that. That's me sometimes on a daily basis. Like, I have a hard time. I'll go in a room and I'm like, man, I don't even remember what I come in here for. So I stand in there for 5 seconds, you know, or 10.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck do I go in for? But
Where you ask me to go get you something, and I'll get everything else besides what you asked for. Yeah.
I think I still need to wash my brain out today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a process.
It's definitely a
well,
process.
we can't have everything. We get that vision of those beautiful things. We can't have everything, you
Yeah.
know, because then we'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of reminds me, like, man, are we like, am I getting dementia at like 42? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Well, according to my son, I already have dementia. So,
Yeah.
but he
I
only
mean,
says that to me because he's mad his mom beats him at basketball.
Yeah.
understandable. All right. So, what does freedom mean to you today?
That means I can breathe, you know, all that I said, all that heavy shit that I realized how heavy life was. And it was
Yeah.
heavy. I mean, I honestly hated my life, but I could stop if I wanted to. I just don't want to. Freedom is just knowing that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. Even if I'm not, I'm still
Yeah.
okay. Like God's got me. Like people got me. I got myself today. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to put myself in situations where I know I can be harmed, and that's normal because it's not. And I never judge. I'm judgy because I'm a human, but I try to never judge anybody that's in an abusive relationship because it looks way different when you're on the inside of that. They're going to change. I see the good in them, and we want to see the good in people, but freedom is a different vision. It's a different vision. It means waking up. Ashley said this yesterday. It's waking up and not needing to put something inside me to be okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what happens, I'm okay. And there's no way, there's no way things could be worse than they were before, right? Like we put ourselves in the shittiest, scariest hell situations, and that was okay. It wasn't okay. Like drug use causes PTSD, and PTSD causes drug use. It's a hamster wheel. But freedom is I don't have to make those choices today, right?
Oh, that's it.
What's
That's
freedom
it.
look like to you?
To me,
Mm-hmm.
girl, you're looking at it. I never. No, I'm dead serious. Like I'm freaking like. I was also in the abusive relationships. You know what I mean? And being able to be free of control of chaos or feeling victimized is freedom, right? When you don't have to try to be a certain way for somebody, or or feel like getting your ass beat that day is okay and that's what you need to be okay. When you don't feel like that anymore, that's freedom. So and then you find a healthy relationship, that's freedom.
We have to research that shit, didn't we?
Make a healthy decision for myself today, that's freedom. Having 4 dogs and a bunch of puppies right now, that's freedom. Being able to see my kids, that's freedom. Being able to make a freaking sourdough starter from scratch, people, that's fucking freedom.
I cannot make bread. I cannot. And that's something I really want to do. So
girl, I mean, listen, I could probably teach you a little bit. I'm still learning too, so we can learn together. But freedom to me is, the joy today that I have in life, and freedom is what I have today. I have it, nothing but freedom. I have my flaws, I still deal with anger issues. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm ever going to successfully be like, I'm not going to be a bitch today. You know what I mean? Because it's still, I have my tools, but that doesn't mean that my first reaction isn't going to mean I want to break somebody's face, or I want to fight, or I want to cuss you out. But I don't I postpone respond. I don't. Then I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, or maybe I shouldn't do that, or But to the life that I have today with this amazing man that I met while in recovery, that's freedom for me. What true love is freedom. All of it's freedom. That's what I said. You see it. This is freedom, because I don't think we could get any further in life than we are right now. I mean, I'm sure we could, but we've reached every goal that we've set out to achieve. You know what I mean? I also have a CDCA, a peer support, and I don't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've used my peer support one time in a job setting, but I refuse to let it go. So I still renew it and do the things that I'm supposed to do to keep that peer support, because I want that, because that is something I worked really hard to get and was very proud to get.
It's part of freedom.
You told yourself.
You got options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you told yourself you're gonna get it. We get the street education, then we get the education in the rooms, and that's the government education. I didn't agree with everything they said in that, but that's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, freedom is what you see every time you guys see us on the screen. Realistically, we do a lot of things. We are homebodies. We don't we don't hit meetings. We don't do that. We do have our own event. I have my own event here in Pike County called March United of Pike County, that I started back when I was probably, a year and a half sober, when I was in drug court. So if you guys see March United stuff on Pages from Rock Bottom, that's mine, or ours now. But we do that every year here in Pike County for the community, to show them that recovery is possible. And we do leads. We do oh my God, what all do we do?
Free food,
t-shirts. We give out free t-shirts because we get donations, and we make shirts for the theme of the event that year. And then I decided to come up with this because, listen, I get in my own head, right? And I don't talk to people, and I work from home. So I have to come up with some things that would, help me in the process. So this is my connection, getting to, meet with you guys and talk to you guys. That's why I said I would love to actually set up something to meet with all of you guys in person at like a, meet and greet. But this also helps me in the process of staying sober, so, and getting to hear your guys' story is inspiration for me. And I learned something from each and every one of you guys. So I do this too, I see my kids twice a week, every other week, and all summer pretty much. So I'm a homebody, but I do the things to, to stay sober. And you guys help me
You
with that.
have a home. Like, you have a home.
I know. I have
Like,
a big home. And I'm just like, man, how did I get this? You know what I mean?
I know. You're like, I don't want to clean
this.
this place. I don't want to clean. Well, you have a home to clean, so be grateful and clean it. Like,
there you go.
It's all thought shifting.
Yeah, for sure. What message do you have for someone still suffering?
Well, if we can get sober, anybody can get sober. And you're not ruined. You're not a piece of shit. You're not just making, don't worry about anything, pray about everything. Like, you can do it. I honestly believe in everyone. I think we're all here for a reason. I'm yet to meet somebody that is not worth trying for. If we have a heartbeat, we can do it. I 90% of the people I talked about in my stuff tonight are all dead. We're not dead. Like, we're very much alive. And
we are.
We have an obligation to do what you guys are doing, to pay this forward to the best of our ability, whatever that looks like. And sometimes that's not even in program ways. You know what I mean? Like, people will show up, and that's just recovery, just being there for people that need us to be there for them. And they'll come in our life at the right moments, for sure.
Yeah. And and I feel like your story is going to touch somebody. It probably already has, realistically. You know what I mean? And keep being you. Like, you're bubbly. I love it. Love to meet you in person. Just gonna say that. And
Yeah, you guys need to come down and visit us. We're all down here polluting
we're
Athens.
We're gonna have to all chit chat and be like, man, when's a good day for everybody? And we're gonna have to plan it out, because we're definitely going to have to. Listen, there might be something in the works in the future.
All right, we're here.
You never know.
And we're mobile to an extent.
Right. Well, we'll come. We will come. We figure out something, we will definitely come. But we just want to thank you. We appreciate you. Your story was amazing. And before we do go, what is your freedom?
I get to wake up every day with the opportunity to be everything I prayed I would be. I get to be a husband. I get to be a father. I get to be a son, an uncle.
And he gets to eat homemade bread.
The fact that every morning I have the same routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go let the dogs out, and when I go in the bathroom, the fact that I can look at myself in the mirror and I can truly look at myself and not hate who I see, because when I first got clean, I avoided mirrors at all costs. Anything I showed my reflection.
Yeah.
That's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And your wife can cook.
Oh, she cook, man. I can eat too. Huh? I can cook too, but I don't have to. I'm spoiled.
It's fine.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless you.
God bless me. Oh my God. Thank you, Stephanie. Your story was amazing. You did amazing. You had no reason to be nervous. You did absolutely amazing. And
yeah, you're the shit.
Well, it's nice to meet you guys. You guys should definitely come and visit us soon. I felt like I knew you already, though, because of all the stuff I listened to. But thank you. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce who our Monday guest is going to be. Who's our Monday guest?
Oh, that's gonna be Brady on his birthday.
Yay!
The
The
ripple effect.
Yes.
He just got a coin for his 3-year anniversary that says the ripple effect
Yay!
on the back of it.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
And he
Okay.
does do a good job of touching other people, man. You know, and that's
Yep.
what it's about. And
Yep.
other men have a hard time opening up, but he gets them.
Aw. Well, we're gonna find out Monday. So everybody needs to tune in Monday to watch Brady here on Pages from Rock Bottom. Do not forget, I'm going to be making a shirt in honor of Stephanie's episode. I will post that. And also go like and follow our page and YouTube page. We have a podcast. Our podcast all goes to YouTube because Facebook decides they're going to delete them after 30 days, and I don't need that to happen. So I upload them to the podcast channel on YouTube.
Hey, what's your favorite color?
I actually like pink, but I don't know if that's appropriate.
I will make one in pink.
Okay.
All right.
We're talking like a hot pink.
I like the bright regular pink.
Surprise me.
Okay.
All right.
Will do. So don't forget, go like and follow all the pages. Go to check out the merch store at episoderecovery.com or shopify.com. And we will see everybody Monday with Brady.
We'll be on Friday too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Raw and Real Fridays. If anybody wants to come join, just hop on to have a conversation.
Yeah, be ready.
Be ready.
Jay.
All right, Steph. Thank you. And thank everybody for watching. You're amazing. Keep shining. Don't quit shining. And you can always reach out to us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you this
We'll be on here Friday.
Friday.
Wrong Wheel Friday.
Every time I'm like, and he's just like,
Huh? Yeah. I'm like a fucking 90s Dell. You know what I mean? It just takes me a minute to load, but once I'm in there, I'm getting it.
Yeah. He's got to catch up. All right, everybody. Have a good evening. We will see everybody Friday, and then we'll see everybody Monday with Brady. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.